Hi there, it's Bodhipaksha again, and this is my book, Vegetarianism, a Buddhist View, and I'm going to give you a reading from the book now. I thought it would be good to mention something about one of the most important reasons, I think, for adopting a vegetarian diet, and that is the fact that eating meat has such a heavy effect on the environment, and so giving up eating meat is something that actually has a global effect. It not only saves animals' lives, prevents animals from suffering and from being killed, but also literally benefits all beings by improving the environment. So I'm just going to read you about a page or so of the book. Because rearing animals is intrinsically wasteful of land, the demand for ever more farmland has resulted in the loss of more and more of our wilderness areas. We've ripped out hedgerows, felled forests, and drained marshes in order to produce more grazing land for animals. According to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, in Central America, forest area has been reduced by almost 40% over the last 4 decades, with pasture and cattle population increasing rapidly over the same period. A Guardian newspaper article of May 2009 reported that a fifth of the Amazon rainforest has been destroyed, equivalent to an area the size of California, and that one of the prime drivers of the destruction was the beef industry, with 80% of the area deforested in Brazil having become cattle pasture. In the case of the rainforests, these natural areas will never recover. Deserts all over the world are expanding as overgrazing leads to depletion of the soil in marginal areas. Our forests produce the very oxygen we breathe, yet we are destroying them in order to make beef burgers. We are all aware now of the threat of global warming brought about by the build-up of greenhouse gases, which trap the sun's warmth in the atmosphere, leading to a rise in global temperatures. We may not be aware that cattle and sheep produce large quantities of methane, which is 21 times more potent than carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas. Farm animals emit 37% of all human-induced methane, and since this gas has a half-life of only 7 years in the atmosphere, reducing the number of animals we eat would have a rapid effect in reducing global warming. Since global warming may be one of the greatest dangers to the future of our species, a reduction in the numbers of farm animals will help reduce that threat. Farming animals also produces large amounts of sewage, which frequently contaminates aquatic environments. The raised levels of nutrients in the water leads to the rapid growth of algae and the death of fish. In the Gulf of Mexico, there is a 6,000 square kilometre area known as the Dead Zone, which is devoid of life. According to a Discover magazine article, quote, first mapped in the mid-1980s, the zone is caused by nitrogen fertilizer runoff, which flows from inland farms down the Mississippi River and into the Gulf. Nitrogen causes huge summer algal blooms that decompose and sink to the bottom, where bacteria feast on them, and in the process suck vital oxygen from the seawater. These areas are literally so depleted of oxygen that when fish swim into them, they just die. And this is, huge problem. I think that the last count there were something like 19 of these massive dead zones appearing in the world. So I think one of the best reasons for becoming a vegetarian, the best reason for becoming a vegetarian is that it involves less destruction of animal life and less suffering. But there really are global consequences of moving from a meat-based diet to a plant-based diet. You don't necessarily have to do that straight away. You could think in terms of cutting down on the amount of meat that you eat. If you're a meat eater, maybe go from eating meat 7 days a week to eating it 4 days a week, and that in itself would have a huge effect. The effect of taking 2 or 3 days of meat off your diet is actually as beneficial as not driving. It has